for 20 years. You know, my specialization when I was with scholars in Egypt was very much about fiqh and usul al-fiqh, and I was very much involved with all, you know, I had a teacher, we went through 63 mawda' ikhtilaf between the scholars where they disagree on fiqh. It was all about this. And then usul al-fiqh, you know, when it was really about al-fiqh, well, al-mu'amalat and all that. And for 20 years, I've been working and talking with scholars. And then at one point, I realized that we are using the same word, but we don't mean the same thing. We are using al-islah and reform as a concept. But for the people who are dealing with fiqh, law and jurisprudence, for the people who are dealing with law and jurisprudence, reform means, in fact, to adapt yourself to the world. In fact, you have a world which is changing, the world is changing, and you go with the fiqh and you try to find solution. So you adapt. You adapt yourself to the world. So this is al-fatwa, it's coming, we have a new challenge. We need a legal opinion. Give me a legal opinion on that. This is new. So I'm adapting. And you will see that in the current discussions among the ulama, there are two words that are coming quite always, is الضرورة والحاجة. الضرورة, it's a necessity. We cannot do without it. So in the name of الضرورة, give me a fatwa, which is helping me in the world of global economy. I want to buy my house. ضرورة. Or حاجة. Haja, I mean that it's a need. I need it because the world is like this. We were using which word to do that? El-tajdeed, el-ijtihad, wa el-islah. It's all about reform. And the point for me, I was asking myself, why is it that after 150 years, when all the scholars are talking about ijtihad, islah, we are still stuck with no way to change the world? Because this is where we are not in agreement. What I understood from Islah is exactly what I understood with Islah al-Nafs, is to transform the world for the better. And to transform the world for the better means that we have to go from an adaptational reform to a transformational reform. It's to say we are not here to adapt ourselves to the world, and as the Americans have the best civilization, the best or the more developed civilization, we in Malaysia, we are going to run after it and to have towers as tall as they have. I don't like this mindset that we are catching up. Great buildings, success is great buildings. This is adaptation. Is not transformation. So the mindset here is problematic. Why? Because it's really where, as reformers, we need to understand the very meaning of reform. If you deal with the legal dimension, you are dealing with adaptation by definition. Any one of you who has studied law know that when you are in law and jurisprudence, it's all adapting, trying to find the solution. So we are always behind the reality. If you want the transformational reform, you need to have a vision beyond the reality. Is what we want to achieve. Meaning by this, what are al-maqasid, the objectives beyond what we want. The world is like this. We know it's like this, but this is not what we want. We want the world to be like that. So we think about the world the way it is, the way we want it to be, and the process between the way it is and the way we want it to be. But we need to have to master the knowledge of the way it is and to have a vision for what we want it to be. If you don't have this, you're just catching up. I say, yes, we are moving, that's fine. And between one darura and one haja and one other darura, we're just adapting ourselves. It's a very light way of dealing with our religion. And you will see that some of the scholars today are saying, we have, and this is the way we can discuss, a taysir, that's fine, to facilitate this is Islamic. We need to go through this. We need to go through it. Are we going to stop to it, on it? Is this the final point? For some, it's just tasahul. And at tasahul, you say, okay, what are we going to do in the world? What is our contribution to change the world for the better? If it's everything about tasahul, haja wa darura. And this is the main point which is problematic.